All right, today I'm going to demonstrate how to repair some cracks in the surface. I'm going to show you how to repair some cracks in the surface. So when you start to see cracks appearing, one of the things that happened is your clay is entering the leather hard stage. Sometimes, occasionally, you can just smooth out a crack with your hands and it will fix it. As you can see this, it's going to keep popping right open. Two different things you can do. One, I can try and take some really wet clay and I'm going to make a Band-Aid on top of this. That Band-Aid is going to eventually get kind of swiped away, but what I'm doing is pushing all of that moist clay into that crack to fill it up and smooth over it. I'm going to let it absorb that. I may give it a little spritz of water. Since it's turning into leather hard, you want to be real mindful that it's going to continue to get harder. So every time those cracks are exposed, here's another one right here. Every time I try to work on it, it keeps opening up again. If you're experiencing that, it is very common. Don't feel bad. One of the things that I like to be able to do is repair it with fresh clay. The clay that I have is not really the freshest, so I'm going to go and grab some that's a little bit more wet. And the purpose of that is to be able to get something that is going to add moisture into that crack. So really fresh clay, and I'm just going to press that into the surface. I also sometimes re-wet the clay the night before. I put a wet paper towel on top, and then with that wet paper towel and then plastic, that will also re-wet your clay and it makes repairing cracks a lot easier. The easiest way to repair cracks is doing what I just did with what I call a Band-Aid. Now let's see here. Here's another crack. Now one other way that you can repair them is with an X-Acto knife. I'm actually going to remove that crack, a little bit of that area there, and pull that out. And now I'm going to take my scoring tool and I'm going to scratch the surface in there. And then I'm going to use some of that fresh clay and a little bit of slip. Put that on with a paintbrush. Try to get it in the surface. A really wet slip is really helpful in this type of repair. And now I'm going to put my Band-Aid on top and I'm pushing it into the surface. And I'm going to smooth it over. This is the best way to repair a crack. Removing the clay, scoring, adding slip, and then fresh clay on top, or what you can call a Band-Aid. Okay, so now that crack is going to be very well repaired. The ones where I just pushed a Band-Aid on top of it, those may open up again, but sometimes that's effective. I wanted you to know two things that I do. Sometimes it is effective to just put a Band-Aid on top. Sometimes it is better to just go ahead and cut it open, add that fresh clay along with slipping and scoring, and it's going to make a big difference.